Standing in the doorway, I was swallowed by the emptiness of what was once a lively, loving home. The laughter, the warmth, all of it felt like a distant echo. The living room, once cozy with David's laughter and the kids' playful chaos, was now stripped bare. My eyes scanned the empty walls where our family photos once hung, my heart racing with a dread I hadn't felt before. My steps faltered as I moved into the kitchen, finding it just as hollow. "Why?" I whispered into the silence, my voice thin and trembling. My eyes fell on a note stuck to the fridge, David's handwriting unmistakable. Hands shaking, I reached for it, dread coiling tight in my chest. "Emma, I can't do this anymore. I've taken the kids. I need a fresh start. With her. I'm sorry." The words felt like knives, each line more painful than the last. I crumpled the note, tears blurring my vision. How could he? How could he just leave? Take everything, take our children, and not even look back. I sank to the cold tile floor, hours slipping by as grief swallowed me whole. Then, a sound cut through the silence. My phone rang, pulling me out of my daze. "Emma, I've been calling you all day. Are you okay?" It was Lisa, my best friend since college, her voice full of concern. "No, Lisa, everything's not okay," I choked out, voice breaking. "David's gone. He took the kids. And everything. He's with someone else." "What?" Her outrage was palpable. "He just left. Did he take anything else?" I took a shaky breath, realizing with a new wave of dread what I hadn't yet checked. "Our accounts. I don't know." Desperation clawed at me as I logged into her online banking, the screen confirming my worst fears. Every account was empty. "He's drained everything, Lisa," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "Listen to me, Emma," she said, a fierce determination cutting through the line. "You're not alone in this. You need to fight." Lisa's words sparked something within me, a fire that had been smothered but wasn't extinguished. "You're right. I have to fight. I won't let him just destroy everything I built." "Exactly," she replied, resolute. "I'm coming over tomorrow morning and we'll make a plan." True to her word, Lisa arrived with an armful of pastries and a look of fierce determination. "Okay, first things first," she said. "Do you have a place to stay? Any money at all?" I shook my head, feeling lost and overwhelmed. "I don't know. I haven't thought that far." "Then you'll stay with me," Lisa declared. "And for the kids, we're going to find out where he took them." She paused, gauging my reaction. "I know someone who can help. A private investigator." "A private investigator?" I asked, feeling both grateful and overwhelmed. "Yes, Emma. He took your children, drained your savings. You need all the help you can get." I nodded, feeling a new determination bloom within me. "Thank you, Lisa. I don't know what I'd do without you." The next morning, we met Jack, the investigator, in a small coffee shop. He was tall, with a stern face softened by kind eyes. "So, you need to locate your husband and gather evidence of what he's done?" he asked, his voice steady, reassuring. "Yes," I replied, voice firm with purpose. "He's taken everything from me, my kids, my savings. I need to make this right." Jack nodded, taking detailed notes. "I'll need everything you have on him. Addresses, contacts, financial records, anything that might help us track him down." Wordlessly, I handed him a file thick with evidence. Pictures of David, bank statements, even the note he'd left. Jack scanned the documents with a critical eye. "I'll start with his financial trail and follow where it leads. It might take time, but trust me, I'll find him." "Thank you, Jack. I just want my kids back. I want him to face what he's done." Jack's expression softened. "We'll get to the bottom of this, Emma. Just hang in there." Weeks passed, and Jack kept me updated on his progress. His latest discovery hit like a punch to the gut. David was living in a picturesque suburb, far from the wreckage he'd left behind, seemingly happy with another woman, laughing, playing in the yard with my kids. The sight of it stung deeply, but it only fueled my resolve. Then Jack's tone shifted in one of our calls. "Emma, I've found something else. David's finances aren't just strained, they're suspicious. There are irregularities, possible fraud." A wave of anger surged through me. "So, he's not just a cheater, but a criminal too?" Jack nodded. "With this evidence, you have grounds for serious legal action. It's a solid case." A plan began to form. "I want to confront him, Jack. I want him to see I'm no longer the woman he abandoned." Jack hesitated. "Are you sure? Confronting him could be risky." I held my ground. I've faced worse, Jack. He needs to know he can't walk away from this without consequences. Jack sighed, his expression one of understanding. All right, but be careful, Emma. The journey to David's new town felt surreal, a crossing from my broken past into his perfect, stolen present. As the bus rolled through quiet streets, a knot of anticipation and dread tightened in my stomach. This was it, the day I would finally confront him. I spent the first day watching from a distance. There he was in his new life, laughing with my children, as if his betrayal had no weight. The scene stoked a fire within me. He needed to answer for what he had done. The next morning, armed with the evidence I'd gathered, I walked up to David's door and rang the bell. My heart pounded, but my hands were steady. Footsteps sounded inside, then the door swung open, and there he was. Surprise quickly turned to shock on his face. Emma, what are you doing here? He stammered, his voice now a stranger's to me. I looked him dead in the eye. I'm here for our children, David, and for justice. His face paled, realizing what my presence meant. Emma, I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Can't we just talk about this? Sorry, I snapped, fury rising. You abandoned your family, stole our money, and think an apology is enough. He looked around, as if seeking an escape, but there was none. I was no longer the broken woman he'd left behind. I've made a new life here, Emma. Please, don't ruin this. A new life built on lies and theft, I said coldly. No, David, you'll face the consequences. I held out the file, bank statements, photos, records from Jack's investigation, all of it. His face turned ashen as he scanned the pages, realizing the extent of the evidence against him. You've been busy, he muttered. Yes, I replied, busy putting my life back together after you tried to destroy it. Now it's your turn to face what you've done. Leaving him there, reeling, I headed straight to the local authorities. They took my case seriously, eager to review the evidence. Watching them take David into custody, a sense of relief and triumph washed over me. The law was on my side and justice would be served. As I walked away from that house, I felt a weight lift. I had done it. I'd stood up to the man who tried to shatter me and emerged stronger. I fought for my children and for myself. The legal proceedings were swift. With overwhelming evidence, David faced the repercussions of his deceit, and I was granted full custody of our children. That night, as I tucked them into bed in our small hotel room, I felt a peace I hadn't known in a long time. We were together, safe, free from his shadow. The road ahead would be challenging, but we had each other, and that was all that mattered. The fight had been hard, the journey painful, yet as I gazed at the peaceful faces of my children asleep in their beds, I knew every step had been worth it. David had tried to break us, but we stood unbroken, stronger than ever. We were survivors, and this was just the beginning of our new life. As the dust settled on the chaos David had left behind, I found myself standing in a new light, with my children by my side. Together, we began the journey of building a life filled with love and stability, far from the shadow of betrayal that had once loomed over us. Our new home, though modest, was a haven of peace and safety. I had taken a job at the local library, a place that always brought me solace. The kids were settling into their new school, making friends, and gradually coming to terms with our past. One evening, as we gathered around our small dining table, laughter filled the room, a soothing balm for my soul and a clear sign that we were healing. Mom, can we go to the park this weekend? My daughter Lily asked, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Of course, sweetheart. It's a date, I replied, smiling back at her. Can I bring my new friend Alex? He's really cool. My son chimed in. Sure thing, bud. The more, the merrier, I said, filled with pride as the kids chatted about their plans. We had weathered the storm and emerged closer than ever. The next day at work, my colleague Sarah approached me. You know, Emma, you've become quite the inspiration around here. The way you've handled everything. It's amazing. I felt a blush creep across my cheeks. Thank you, Sarah. It's been a tough road, but I had to fight for my kids and for myself. You've done more than just fight, she said, her voice warm. You've shown incredible resilience. You're a role model for all of us. Her words meant more than she could know. They validated my struggle and recognized the strength I had found within myself. Weeks turned into months, and life settled into a new rhythm. David faced the consequences of his actions, burdened by legal and financial penalties. Though I rarely thought of him, when I did, it was with a sense of detachment. as if he were a character from another lifetime. One evening, as I tucked the kids into bed, Lily looked up at me with her big, innocent eyes. "Mom, are you happy now?" I brushed her hair back, a smile playing on my lips. "Yes, honey, I'm very happy. We have each other, and that's all we need." She snuggled into her pillow, a contented sigh escaping her lips. "I'm glad. I love you, Mom." "I love you too, baby, more than you'll ever know." As I turned off the lights and left the room, a profound sense of peace enveloped me. I had walked through fire and emerged not just unscathed, but stronger, more resilient. I had reclaimed my life and built a new world for my children and myself, one filled with love, hope, and endless possibilities. Standing at the window, looking up at the stars, I reflected on my journey, the pain, the struggle, the triumph. I had overcome betrayal and emerged victorious, not just for myself, but for my children. We were a testament to the strength of the human spirit, to the power of resilience. In that moment, I realized this wasn't just the end of a chapter, it was the beginning of a new story, a story of triumph, of a woman who refused to be broken, who stood tall against all odds. I was that woman, and my story was one of victory, a triumph of the betrayed. As I turned away from the window, enveloped by a sense of empowerment and peace, I knew that no matter what the future held, we would face it together as a family. We were survivors, and our story was just beginning. As Emma's journey of resilience and triumph comes to a close, I have a thought-provoking question for you. If you were in Emma's shoes, would you have taken the same steps to confront and overcome betrayal, or would you have chosen a different path? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. Let's engage in a meaningful discussion about strength, resilience, and the choices we make in the face of adversity. If you've enjoyed this story and the journey we've taken together, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more compelling and inspiring tales. Your support means we can continue bringing you stories that resonate and inspire. Thank you for being part of our storytelling journey.